we'll start with a quick background on PFT, and I'm going to go ahead and share a slide deck here in just 1 second. Let me get this ready. Great. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to share this, and Shannon, if you can just let me know if this is coming through okay and that we can see the screen.
Yep, okay.
Okay, beautiful. Great. So Parallel Flight Technologies is a company that is developing unmanned systems to save lives, property, and the environment. We were really founded around the global wildfire crisis. This kind of came into stark relief for me personally in 2017, and then we founded the company in late 2018. At the time, I was working at Tesla. I was heading up electrical engineering for the Tesla semi-truck program, and there was a very catastrophic fire in Santa Rosa, and then another fire near where we live up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And I began looking at ways that drone technology could be used to support firefighting. And I connected with the head of aviation for the Department of Interior, Mark Bathrick, and Mark said, we've got drones that can do reconnaissance. We've got drones that can do take infrared photos of things and do mapping, but we don't have heavy lift, long duration drones that can deliver things to firefighters on the front lines, that can do large scale prescribed burns, or that can put fires out. That's the technology that we could really use. So I pulled a technical team together, and we went back to first principles and came up with a new technology, parallel hybridization, that allows these drones to fly much longer than other technologies that are out there. And we quickly realized that this was a very big opportunity across multiple verticals. So we're still heavily involved with firefighting. It's a core part of our mission, but we see that this is a big market opportunity across 3 major industries. So I'll talk about that a little bit, and maybe just touch on the core problem, which is that electric rotorcraft, they can only fly for 15 minutes when they're carrying a heavy payload. So this drastically limits their ability to do these longer missions that require long flight time with a heavy payload. So we've developed this new technology. It's parallel hybridization. Our aircraft can fly, the first product that we're building, it's a quad rotor, so it's got 4 propellers. It can carry 100 pounds, and it can fly this for over 125 miles. So this is going to be a huge game changer for not only firefighting, but a number of other industries. And so that's what I want to share here first. I'm flipping through this, but firefighting, healthcare, and industrial logistics. And these are all quite sizable markets. And when you add it all up, it's over $100 billion market. So industrial logistics, let's talk about that. This is carrying supplies for heavy industry. So for example, we're in conversation with a number of global wind turbine companies, and they have a need to deliver supplies to the top of these wind turbines. Right now, this is a big problem. They have to hire helicopters to do it, and they've approached us, and we're talking with them about using our technology to bring these tools and supplies so that the technicians can service these machines using our aircraft. That's just one example. There's many examples in everything from mining to other types of renewables. The list kind of goes on and on when it comes to industrial logistics. So we're really excited about that. Healthcare, this is delivery of critical medication, vaccines, and medical equipment, especially in areas that don't have good infrastructure. So we're in conversation kind of globally to look at how we can use our technology for healthcare. And then finally, of course, firefighting, which is a really big deal for us as a company. And the 3 key missions in firefighting are tactical support. This is bringing supplies to firefighters on the front lines of a fire. Controlled ignition. This is doing prescribed burns or back burns during a firefight. And then spot fire suppression. This is putting out small spot fires to try to keep a bigger fire from spreading. And we recently did a tactical supply demonstration. And Shannon, if you don't mind, if you could put in the link to our Start Engine page, and I'd encourage everybody, when after the webinar, take a look at our updates and scroll through it. You'll see some video from our most recent tactical resupply demonstration. We had a number of media out here, NBC, ABC, and some others, and it caught a lot of attention. So that's a really exciting application for us. So I'll move on from our verticals and talk about some of our key strategic partners that we've been working with since we began Parallel Flight. I would really like to highlight here NASA, NSF, and USDA. And these federal agencies have funded specific projects within Parallel Flight. So I get the question a lot from investors: if the government's funding you, why are you raising money from private investment? The answer is really simple, which is that the government funds very specific projects. They're not funding the whole thing. So right now, our current grant that we're working on is from the USDA, and this is for a large-scale prescribed fire solution. So we're really excited about it. We're going to be demonstrating it with some prescribed burns soon this year. And this is to show that with our drone, we can light large prescribed fires for removing fuels from the ground and helping areas to be less prone to wildfire. So the USDA is funding this, and we're really excited about the solution. It's going to be much safer and lower cost than helicopter solutions. So let's see here. I want to also talk about our team very briefly. And I know I'm going quick, we don't have a lot of time, but our core team is, I'm just trying to find some controls here, is myself, and I come from the Tesla background and also some background up in Alaska where I was doing some energy projects. Dave Adams is a control systems guru, and he has worked in the Navy with autonomous drone systems, as well as he's also a engineer qualified warfare officer on nuclear subs. Bobby Holter is a software and controls guy. And I'd also like to highlight some incredible folks that we've brought on from the helicopter industry. So we've got a really strong technical team on this side, but then overseas and also in the US, we've brought on a management team from the helicopter industry, and they're helping us with everything from legal to business development. In fact, we've got a team over in Europe right now that's on specifically working on some business development opportunities there. And I'd like to highlight especially Chris Krajewski, who has been in the aviation industry for 35 years. He's had leadership roles at CHC Helicopter, which is one of the world's largest helicopter companies. He's been the CEO of helicopter companies in Africa. And we're super happy to have Chris working with us, helping to develop these relationships with large companies globally that are ready to use our technology. Russ Hill is supporting our IP development. Aiden is supporting legal. So we're really excited about this kind of whole side of the team. So I'll give a couple really quick company updates. I'll take a few questions, then we're going to talk a little bit about technology. So one of the first things I want to give an update on, and I'm going to stop sharing the slides here for a second. Let's see. I want to share with you all something that nobody outside of PFT has seen yet, but this is our pre-production hybrid power module. We have made 6 of these now, and these are going on to our first, kind of pre-production Firefly product. And when I say pre-production, what I mean is it's basically going through final testing, and we are in the process of setting up production for these systems. So we have well over 100 hours of runtime on these units in our test cell, and now we're building a whole bunch of them that we can put even more runtime and get in the air. We are putting together this aircraft for testing, and it'll be up in the air in April. So we're really excited about that, and we'll be sharing more progress as that unfolds. And then the other really exciting update that we have is that we were invited by the Agility Prime program, which is part of AFWorks. And this is essentially a grant program from the Air Force. And they've invited us to do what's called a direct to phase 2 application. And they basically held our hand through this whole process because we had a very short period of time to do it. They really wanted us to get in there. And this is to take our IP, our technology, and hybridize an eVTOL or an urban air mobility platform for military use. So I'm going to share my screen again very quickly and show everybody this platform. Let's see if we can get to it. There, this guy. So this is an aircraft that's basically a manned drone, and it's an electric drone right now, and it can really only fly for about 12 minutes. But the AFWorks program has invited us to basically upgrade it with our hybrid power modules, and then it will be able to fly for hours and fly long ranges so that it can move personnel and supplies around. So this is a really exciting touch point for us with military applications, which is new for us. So I'm going to take a pause there and turn it over to Shannon. Shannon, why don't you moderate a couple of these questions and answers, and then we can talk a little bit more about the raise and also some of our technology.
Sounds good. Hi, Joshua, and hi, everyone, and thank you for being here with us today. Our first question from the attendees is, why are you still raising money, and what is this round of funding for?
Great. Yeah, awesome question. So we are embarking on a very significant program of testing. So when you develop an aircraft, it's not the kind of product that you can kind of make an MVP or a minimum viable product. It really has to go through significant testing before you can put it on the market. So that's what the team is doing right now. We have a very active test program. We're flying aircraft all the time, as well as a program focused on testing the hybrid power modules so that we fully understand any failure modes, all of the maintenance points, the maintenance schedules, and that we can develop all of that for our customers. So the funding that we're raising now is going into a whole bunch of flight testing. We're almost doubling our staff to accommodate that so that we can have 2 flight crews out in the field flying all the time. And we're building multiple aircraft. We're building about 30 of these hybrid power modules over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. And all of that's going to go through extensive testing. So that just requires capital. And there was another part to the question. What was the other part there, Shannon?
It was, why are you still raising funding, and what is this round of funding for?
Yeah, so that's the reason. We're raising to fund the testing that's going on, and that's where it's going. It's going straight into funding, and obviously we've got business development work that's going on simultaneously. And I think I want to mention a couple quick things here. We've got some unique opportunities for investors who are interested in larger scale investments. So I would ask that if you're interested in making a larger scale investment, please reach out directly to me via email, and we can discuss that. There's some special opportunities where I can essentially remove any of the fees associated with crowdfunding. So Shannon, if you don't mind, please put my email there in the chat. So, and actually, let's make a correction. That's, put my email there in the chat, JoshuaResnick@parallelflight.com, and we can discuss that. Also, I want everybody to know that we are working with a number of institutional investors. These are venture capital groups and corporate venture arms. And once these deals get finalized, we are almost certainly going to close the crowdfunding raise. So, I mean, this could be anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. We don't really know, but it's all I can say is things are definitely moving fast. So I don't expect this crowdfunding to be open indefinitely. So let me take a couple more questions there, Shannon.
Sure. So the next question is, do you have an IP strategy? And if yes, what is it?
Sure. So we are very active on the IP side. And as I mentioned before, we brought on Russ Hill. Russ, and I'm going to bring him back up here, right here. Russ Hill is extremely talented IP, both on the litigation side and also on the IP development side. He's a mechanical engineer by background, and he's been chief IP counsel at Lenovo, CHC Helicopter, and Logitech. So he's held these very high positions on the IP side. Russ is supporting IP development on a number of fronts, and we're really excited about the patents that we have pending, and also the recent patents that we've won. So basically, we're going to continue to patent all the aspects of our technology and many of the applications for our technology, and also internationally.
All right. And our next question is, is the backburn concept beyond line of sight related to prescribed burning?
So it can be both. There's a lot of prescribed fire that can be done within line of sight. There's also more that can be done beyond visual line of sight. So we definitely see that as being, a both kind of thing. And I believe that, and this has already been done with other prescribed burning applications, where that beyond that visual line of sight limitation can get lifted with special COAs or certificate of authorization for those missions. So it's not a total limitation on beyond line of sight when you're doing some of those prescribed burns. And we're able to work with the Department of the Interior and the U.S. Forest Service, and they're able to get these permissions. Great.
Next question.
Okay, go ahead. I'll take one more question right now, and then we'll talk a little bit more about technology. Go ahead.
Okay, so this leads into it well. This is a technology question.
Perfect.
When you say hybrid, do you mean the reciprocating engine drives only a generator, or does it also provide direct drive to a propeller?
So it's both, and that's really what's unique about our technology. So this is kind of the core of parallel hybridization, where you use an electric motor to augment the speed at which the gas engine can respond, and you're using the gas engine to provide the duration. So it's both. There is a direct mechanical connection. However, there's a lot of IP involved in that connection that enables it to be robust. So I can't get into a lot of those guts kind of details, but yes, there is a reciprocating engine that's part of the stack, and then an electric motor here at the top that's providing the high-speed dynamics. So I'll make a couple points about technology. We are, we have our core technology, which is this parallel hybrid system, but we really want to provide full stack solutions with in-house engineering, software, AI, machine learning, all of these technologies brought together to provide the customer with a really robust solution. So it's not just about the propulsion system. Now, we also are very committed to green technology. We are looking at a number of different carbon neutral fuels. And we also, with our mission around wildfire, and then finally for things like renewable energy, we really see that this technology can reduce carbon emissions by doing a lot of missions that right now helicopters have to do, and as well as using carbon neutral fuels directly. So that's just a little bit more about the technology. We see these aircraft, getting bigger. Right now, our first product's going to carry 100 pounds of payload. We easily see this scaling to something that carries 500 pounds of payload. We already are developing plans for that as our next product. And we really see this being the future of vertical lift globally. So that's our big vision. We have a lot of unique opportunities for investors that want to make larger investments. As I said earlier, please reach out to me directly if you're thinking about making a larger investment into parallel flight. And as I also said, I don't know how long the opportunity is going to be open, as we are in conversation with a number of larger institutional investors. We've got about 4 minutes left. Shannon, why don't we take a couple more questions?
Sure, sounds good. Next question coming from our attendees as when, as an investor, could I expect a dividend? 2023, 2025, 2030? What would you think?
Sure. So obviously I can't put a specific timeline on it. However, as a company, we are aiming to be big. We want to be $1 billion company. And that means that, either when we IPO or when we get acquired, we expect it to be a big deal. And, I would hope for any kind of timeline, anywhere from 2 to 5 years kind of thing before we have an exit. It could be longer. You never know how these things go, but this is a very large emerging market. And, we really believe that we've got a competitive edge and a very competitive technology.
We have time for one more question?
Yep, we've got time for one more for sure.
One of the attendees would like to know, what do you feel is a larger scale investment?
Sure. Well, I would just ask anybody looking to invest $20,000 or more, please reach out to me directly. And really any investment, if you've got questions, please reach out. JoshuaResnick at parallelflight.com. We will follow up with you. We want you guys to feel comfortable and understand what you're getting involved with. If you've already invested in Parallel Flight, thank you for your support in helping to build this company. We've made a tremendous amount of progress since our inception, and we're really excited about all of the testing that's going on this year and all of the work that's getting done to head toward production. So once again, thank you if you've already invested. If you haven't invested yet, please check us out at startengine.com/parallel. And if you've got any specific questions, please email us at JoshuaResnick@parallelflight.com, and we'll get your questions answered. Thanks everybody for attending. And I think with that, we're going to wrap it up.